Over the weekend, Malaysia was hit with one of the worst floods it had seen in decades, which has resulted in rising death tolls and tens of thousands of people displaced from their homes, which is one of the worst things that could happen to someone facing a natural disaster, followed by having Azmin Ali in your kitchen and having to pretend like you're grateful to him for doing absolutely nothing. While regular Malaysians have been stepping up to help those who have been hit the hardest, the government's response during this crisis has been absolutely dismal, beginning with Malaysia's resting blur-faced Prime Minister Ismail Sabri being seen cutting cakes and having dinner at political events all day before finally holding a press conference to address the floods, followed by these two ministers organizing launching ceremonies to celebrate them finally doing something, which is a lot like planning an event to announce you'll be saving a drowning person as the person you're supposed to save is actively drowning. Now, while the government has blamed the chaos on extreme weather events that resulted in parts of the country getting a month's worth of rain in a day, a number of people have pointed out that they should have known that this would happen for months. For one, back in July, Nurul Izzah actually warned the government that things would end in disaster if the plans under the National Recovery Council didn't take this monsoon season into account. Then in October, the Adun for Kota Kumaning was forced to apologize after a clip went viral of him yelling at staff from the drainage department for flood issues in Taman Sri Muda, which now just happens to be one of the worst affected areas in the entire country. Then finally, just days before the storm hit, the meteorological department actually issued extreme weather warnings that should have given the government enough time in advance to prepare if only they had their priorities sorted, because really, everything we've seen so far has been an issue of priorities, and time again, this administration has proven that the people are not its priority. For example, if you take a look at the government's 2020 financial statements, the allocation for the National Disaster Management Agency, which is the main body responsible for handling events like this flood, was just 129 million ringgit last year. To put that number into context, that same year, the government spent over 800 million ringgit upgrading the Istana Negara at Jalan Duta and Istana Melawati in Putrajaya, which is over 6 times the total amount they spent on NADMA. As a result, while survivors were left waiting days for boats and supplies to arrive, those put in charge of handling these events were nowhere to be seen. And so after everything that's happened, while you donate your time and efforts to cleanup drives or organizing activities, or your money to organizations providing relief assistance to flood victims, one of the most important things you can do now is remember who did this to you, remember what they could have and should have done for you, and remember what you need to do the next election when they come asking for votes from you.